Start here. All right. Howdy, y'all. Andy McCabe here, your Restoration Rebel leader. Clark Brown, your other Restoration Rebel leader, is on the horn here. We've got Mr. Aaron. Aaron, what's your last name again?
Hopkins.
Aaron Hopkins, Service Master out of Virginia. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And we'd like to do a little follow-up on yesterday's conversation. We started a conversation about large loss and responders and how, here, I'm just going to call it what it is, how not to lose your ass responding to something like this. And Aaron let Clark and I know that he had some pretty good advice for us all. And we said, well, now is the time. Now is a great time for us to all get an education if folks are willing to give their hard-earned experience. So, Aaron, why don't you take it away? Let us know where you're coming from, and then just go right into it.
All right. A lot of guys, you are talking about, where do I collect money? How do I collect money when I'm down in Texas? Well, the answer should be like every day. We work for the homeowner. We do not work for FEMA. We do not work for any other organizations. If you have that mindset on residential, you're going to lose your ass.
Yeah, you're going to wait forever to get paid. You're never going to get paid if you get paid, right?
If you get paid, that is the biggest thing we've seen through the years. You want to at least collect 50%. Everybody has their certain percentage they want to make, but mine is I collect 50% up front, 50% when I'm done. I give them a bill for reimbursement, and then they can take that to the insurance carrier, whoever that may be, to get their money back. We should never fall victims to the storm.
What are you doing to guesstimate your MIT? I mean, people are going to say, what is it going to cost? Because I want 50% down. What's it going to cost? What are you doing to take a wag at that?
I already know what it costs. I'm on a 5, 7, and 10 square foot pay structure. You walk into a building, you can look at it. Let's just say residents. If you're going to be there and do quite a bit of work, you're going to be $10 a square foot. That's going to be from demo to drying, anything that's needed by this homeowner.
Okay.
And you got to remember, you've got to dry not only the basement, but you have to dry the whole house, which a lot of people forget.
Yep. So you're taking 50% up front. This is going to be a hard answer for some folks to hear, but what if you get a homeowner who says, well, I don't have that kind of money? What do you do?
Yeah. You basically give them the price. Here it is. You can go to your bank, whoever your money is coming from. Let me know when you have the funds available. There's millions of people that are ready to pay you to do work. Don't fall victims to the ones that has been in this for years and know how to play you better than you playing them.
Well put. Well put. So what is Service Master National doing? Do they have a special team they're sending? Or are they rounding up local guys? What are they doing?
The local guys, a lot of them has been down there helping with the rescue of local residents.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the national, all storm teams have been deployed. SMRs have been deployed, and they have also asked anybody willing to join in on the efforts in Texas.
Okay. All right. So you've got guys who've been sitting there for a week. They left too early. You've got guys leaving today. Might be a little too early. Nearest our best guess, today is we're going to have boots in the mud on Saturday. What is a guy in the theater right now? What's he need to do? How's he need to protect himself and not lose his ass?
The guys that's been down there for a week that has not seen any work, the best thing I can say is get out there and find small jobs to keep your cash flow going.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's residential, 5,000, go out there and hop on it. Make sure you don't lose yourself for sitting there. Mm-hmm. That's the worst thing you can ever do. And if you're just getting there and you have no work, use this group. I mean, it's just like franchising. Let's just be honest. That's what this is.
Yep.
You're trying to unite a group of guys together to better themselves. Don't go out here. It's not a competition. Everybody's going to make money.
Yep.
And if you're out here and you can't have the capacity of $1 million business, don't go out here chasing these $1 million losses. Stay in your realm. Stay where you're comfortable.
Stay in your lane. Amen.
Hey, Aaron, I got a question or a couple questions for you. And I have, I've spent a good amount of time, and I have close relationships with a lot of the green team. And I know one of the biggest challenges.
We lost him. We lost Clark. That's 2 days in a row. We had some bad connection issues. He'll call back in. He'll call back in. So, okay. So, yeah, go ahead.
I was with, the green team for almost 10 years myself.
Okay.
So.
And you're exactly right. We're trying to build a network here. And the biggest difference is I don't want 8% of your gross to do that. I want to see everyone succeed. We do have there's a Google document out there that people can just put their names and numbers on, and people looking for certain assets can go to that list. Everyone on that list is there or is going to be there. And I think between that list and these groups of everyone just coming together and say, hey, this is where I'm at, this is where I'm going, this is what I got, there's a lot of work that I think can be done cooperatively through these groups. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron, there's no clear command and control structure on the ground in Texas right now.
No, there is not. And that's a big issue. If you're down there, a lot of people don't tell you. I mean, there's no electricity, no water, no food. There's
no diesel.
People, no diesel, no gas. And people are scrounging around trying to get food and water. You can already see the looting. I mean, just watch Facebook. And trust me, you're going to become that victim if you're not prepared.
Yeah, you go down there with an uncovered trailer or a trailer without a lock on it. You're not going to have anything left in that trailer overnight.
Seen it happen too many times.
Well, how many times have you responded to a cat?
Over the last 12 years, we've been in and out. We do microburst cat events, just double capacity, anything that we can to help anybody.
Got it. All right, Clark, welcome back. You had a question. Let's hope you can get through it.
Yeah, after this call tonight, based on my experience last night, I'm going to uninstall and reinstall the app tomorrow when we get finished. But Aaron, how did you find the experience with the SRM? And I guess the devil's advocate that I always saw firsthand and heard from competitors and from clients, the idea of the network of all of these franchises coming together in theory works out great. But when you put 5, 6, 3, 12 different individual business owner teams on one place, the politics, the chest thumping, the fighting over situation. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and I have a similar experience, and I'll tag on that, and I'll let Aaron fill in the blanks. I worked for ServiceMaster in Scottsdale, Arizona. And our fiercest competition were the other service masters in our markets in Phoenix, not the green trucks, not the independents, the other guys that were willing to undercut us for our work and our market. I found that it was disconcerting. I had no idea that was going to be like that. Yeah. So, Aaron, what do you have to say about that?
Here I have very good experiences with working with other franchises myself.
Good.
But over on the other side that Clark had mentioned, that was the issue. Everybody was competing with each other. We wasn't competing with independents. We wasn't competing against other franchises. It was who who had the most money to go out here and drop on a dime.
Mm.
So, I mean, if we can network, this group together, it can be a great thing for cat events. One issue I see from, I'm just going to say independents, is when they get together, you have one guy that wants to do estimating, one guy that wants to go around and market and get the work, but the other 5 owners are doing the labor. Well, and they think that they should get more than the person that's out there marketing or doing the estimates, and it just backfires a lot. There's no strategy and planning with each other.
No value sharing. Yeah. Okay. So one guy thinks he's bringing more value because he's bringing more bodies, and then the other guy that's selling it thinks he's bringing more value because he's bringing in the work. Okay, I can see how that would get contentious real quick. So how do you avoid that?
Sit down up front. Who's doing what percentages, are being paid out after your break even off of your profit. And this is what we're doing. This is our game plan. And I hate to see a lot of people have ganged together, going to Texas, but what's really going to be the outcome in 3 to 4 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know each other, but everybody's meeting and they have in their head, I'm going to make all this money. And as 2 of the others in the group, they have a lot of knowledge, and we keep talking about bankruptcy. That's something you have to watch. Some guys will go down and not have any money and try to float it off credit cards. And
wow, that's unbelievable,
guys. But it looks like Clark won't be able to join us back.
He may or may not call back in. Oh, is he texting?
Yeah, he did. He said, sorry, he probably couldn't come back in.
All right. Well, we're big boys. We can handle this. What else? I'm behind you. And I think as human beings, not just businessmen and women, but as human beings, it's in our nature to come together on something like this. And it's the unspoken expectations that end up killing deals.
Exactly.
And so I'm behind you 100%. If you want to partner with somebody, but have that frank conversation right up front. Hey, this is my cost. This is my expectation. This is what I expect to get out of this.
Yes.
And
especially if one's bringing, all the labor, one's bringing air movers, dehues, and another one's just bringing the cash to float. Everybody has the same value, but I've seen that go very south very quick.
Yeah. So better to not be greedy.
Exactly.
Right? Better to be, hey, what do I need to get out of this? And what is an honest living off of an honest day's work? And because the guy with bringing the equipment, what's his overhead? Nothing. He's got to get the equipment there.
Exactly.
The guy with the cash, he's got no overhead. He's got the cash, so he has an expected return on the cash. But the guy with the labor, he's got a very, very real overhead, and that meter is running. And that's where the cash flow comes in. That's where the guy with the labor and the material and doing all that stuff, those are the guys that are the biggest risk, right?
Exactly. Everybody needs to sit down if you're working together and just make sure that you have a plan in place.
Yeah.
If not, you're going to end up fighting. Bankruptcy's on the way, and you left a whole market at your own home free. You got to think about that. If you're leaving, your whole market at home is open to the next competitor to come in.
I've seen that 2 or 3 times in the blogs or in the Facebook and LinkedIn groups in the last 2 days. If you're number 2 in your market and number 1 goes to Texas, guess who's there coming after number 1 spot in your local market?
Happens all the time. You've got to be able to take care of your own turf before you can take care of somebody else.
Yeah. So in your experience, the success rate of going to a CAT, going to your first cat, what are your odds of coming out of it alive and profitable?
Alive is very well profitable. A lot. It's a learning experience, a learning curve that many have. But I can say make sure the one thing to be profitable and come out alive is do not work for FEMA. Do not work for anybody but the homeowner. You want cash or credit cards
Yep.
before and after. However you set that pay structure up, let them get reimbursed for what they spend. Don't be the bank account for the homeowners and FEMA.
Yep. Well, that's what happens without a cat. In the absence of a cat, that's what kills more restoration contractors than anything else. Is they start acting like a bank, but we're not very good at collecting interest, are we?
Not at all. It's frowned upon if we collect the interest, but nobody else,
Right. I mean, and all of a sudden we're the bad guys because we've been waiting 60 and 90 days to get paid on $100,000 worth of work that we did legitimately, but somehow we're the bad guy because we want, because we're going deep into our own credit lines to do that.
Exactly. And a lot of people, I know personally, has not even been paid fully from Sandy.
Oh, I'm sure.
And, we're talking $1 million, $2 million, $3 million losses. Well, everybody hops on it. It's their first huge loss. Yeah, I can do that. Well, I'll bill FEMA. Don't you worry. They're just doing it because it looks good. In reality, they're struggling on the backside at home because they just used all their cash flow somewhere else.
Yeah. And they neglected their sales at home. So they don't even have the revenue coming from the home front to support their actions in the field.
Exactly. That's where we come. And it's not some people will go physically bankrupt. Some people will just go bankrupt as being there. There's two different ways that we look at it.
Mm-hmm. So are you sending any crews?
Oh, yes. We have already property managers lined up. We're waiting for 2 big projects to water to reside, and we'll be there no later than Sunday.
So you're going to peel off 1 or 2 crews and keep what percentage, if you don't want to say, don't worry about it, but what percentage of your workforce are you sending versus keeping home?
Oh, I'll only send 25%.
Yeah.
My
it's
home
safe.
front's the most important.
Yeah. Amen.
I use this as extra cash that I know that I can bring in quickly. I know what I can do in 14 days, how much money I want to produce, and that's it. Go home. When you know when to back out, that's when you can make money. When you know when to enter and know when to exit, you will make money. But if you stick around, the longer you're there, the more you spend, the less you make.
What's that feel like? What's that feel like in your gut when you're sitting there? What are some things that are going to tell a guy, hey, it might be time to go?
Well, when you see your guys not producing as much, 4 jobs a day, it starts going down to 3 jobs a day, to 2 jobs a day. I mean, you need to pull these crews out.
They're just dragging. Yeah, they're burnt.
You're going to lose money trying to get them to keep working. And a lot of people will take and use 4 crews to go in for a week, rotate 4 crews, then rotate 4 crews. And that's how they keep money going.
And that might be a viable model. This is a bigger event than we've seen in our lifetimes.
Yes.
It's shaping up to be. This thing is going to keep going. I'm talking with David over at Right Loss. He's looking at 2 years.
Yeah.
And so you appreciate how much of that do you want to be involved in, right? As a business owner, and how much do you want to tie your business to this event, or do you want to just get in, make some money, and get out?
The most profitable businesses that are there will be there a certain number of days and leave.
Yep.
They make what they want. You know what you want when you go into it, and you leave.
That's great advice. That is phenomenal advice. And I appreciate I appreciate your focus on knowing who you're working for. And I've been
Yes.
preaching that for a long time. And I think most of the restoration rebels understand it at a certain level, but it can't be said enough. We only have one client, and it's not FEMA. It's not NFIP. Wait, NFI, did I say that right? National Flood Insurance. Yeah, NFIP. It's not the adjusters. It's the clients. It's the property owner. It's the property manager. It's the homeowner. If we keep that straight in our heads, it'll just inform the rest of what we do.
Yes. And that helps on the home front too.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, the splitting the loyalties. I drove myself mad in my first 10 years in this industry because I was working for 3 different people at any given time. My boss, the homeowner, and the insurance adjuster or the insurance company. Nothing kills you faster than trying to split yourself 3 ways.
Exactly. And I've seen a lot of people talking about becoming subs for other companies.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of work out there. Don't cut yourself short.
You think that's cutting short?
I mean, to get in and get work, no, but in the long run of the whole event, it could be because you're there. You can develop those relationships to go out on your own.
All right. I get that. So the longer you're there, the more people you're going to know in theater, the more likely you are to get turned on to jobs and you don't have to work for somebody else. I get that. What about a smaller guy that is there a decent living to be made by staying with one of the big guys, finding a big Belfour job and just camping on it?
I mean, the smaller you are, the less overhead you have, the less profit that you have to make. So you're making the same amount as somebody doing $1 million job.
Sure.
And
percentage-wise.
Yeah, percentage-wise.
Okay.
But I mean, it's all in what you want. If you want to make a lot of money, go for it. If you are content with making, say, $100,000 and backing out, yeah, I mean, that's when you know when to back out.
Yep. I get it. Yeah. Well, Aaron, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your candor and your willingness just to step up and say, hey, I have something to contribute to the group. I'm always open. We're always open, especially those who want to give back. And so I can't thank you enough for your time. Anything else you want to add before we both get back to our day jobs?
No, not really. Just stay on top of being down there. If it's your first time, yeah, I mean, I hate to say this, but make sure you're carrying. If you're down in the lower parts.
You think so?
I would. I've seen a lot of things go wrong in the middle of these storms. The outer bands are fine, but once you get into where, there is nothing and you have military walking you around, you have, you're starting to get in curfews.
Wow. Yeah, that's something these Oregon boys don't think about.
Yeah, protect yourself. And being down in any CAT event, that's what you have to worry about. Protect yourself before you protect others.
Wow. Texas is an open carry state, aren't they?
I'm not for sure about Texas.
I know Oregon is. We're a bunch of cowboys out here.
Actually, I looked that up. I believe Texas is.
All right. Well, good to know. Not that I would walk into somebody's house packing a
Oh, no.
necessarily.
Never. Let me rephrase that. Never walk into somebody's house with that. You should always, own a vehicle somewhere around because people will be paying you in cash. You're going to have large amounts of cash.
Yep.
So protect yourself. You're not walking into homeowners' houses armed, anything like that, because that's just disrespect.
Yeah. Except for that one neighborhood I saw that every man was walking out with a rifle or a shotgun sitting in front of a sign. I saw that on Twitter or something like that. There
was one earlier on Facebook like that.
Oh man, Aaron, hey man, you are more than welcome to come back anytime. I love talking to folks like you with so much experience. We just sit back and soak it in. I really appreciate it.
Trust me, I learned from the ones that are a lot older than me in the group.
Good. All right. Well, get back to it, and we'll see you in the group. And hope you all enjoyed this. I'm going to get this on YouTube and put this out there as soon as I can.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Aaron.